Hello everybody, this is Cromsco018, and I'm going to try and get all these done today. Keep your fingers crossed that I can. Because this is going to be my thoughts and recap on 7 Deadly Sins Season 2, Episode 22. I just got Episode 21 up. So, I figured, why not? But yeah, this episode is completely insane. And not just for one thing, but for at least a couple of things. And one of those things is kind of a bit of a spoiler, so if you don't want to be spoiled, I'll let you know before I start talking about it. That way, if you want, you can just skip the rest of the video. Anyway, the first crazy thing, Escanor versus Esterosa. That alone should be crazy enough, considering Esterosa is the one who killed Meliodas, or dealt the finishing blow, and Escanor is just, well, praise the sun, is all I gotta say. Anyway, yeah. This episode is just crazy. Essentially, Escanor works on fighting back against Esterosa because he doesn't have hatred in his heart. He has pity for those who are weaker than him. His words, not mine. And I found that funny because, like I said, Esterosa is probably one of the more powerful ones. Let's see. And Escanor shows how much, like I said, praise the sun that he is. He actually gets hurt first off because of Esterosa's magical ability Full Counter, which, from Meliodas' standpoint, Meliodas can use Full Counter to deflect magical attacks. Esterosa's can deflect physical attacks. So, yeah, and also he can kind of not really neutralize magic, but I guess weaken it at least a bit. So Escanor would normally have, anybody else would normally have a hard time with him. But Escanor shows how much of a badass he is by forming a literal sun in his hand. I mean, you could see it's the freaking sun in his hand. It is so hot that anybody, if he was to use it right there where he's standing against Esterosa, he'd kill everybody behind him. So, to remedy this, he sends Esterosa flying first towards the lake at, I guess, at the end of the south gate, like really far away, and shows up riding the freaking sun that he created. This guy is just OP as all get out. And sends it plunging at him into the lake, to the bottom of the lake, where it continues to burn. That is nuts, and because of this, he evaporates the whole lake. And Esterosa tries to combat that attack a second time by engulfing it in darkness. Bad move for him. Escanor doesn't like that. And he counters that saying, who says that my fire is engulfed in darkness? Only I determine that stuff. And he sends the attack, it's a much bigger attack, at Esterosa, sends him flying so far that his brother, the guy I mentioned before, the Demon of Piety, I think? I could be completely wrong on that. He goes off to try and catch his brother and try and stop him, but it's no use. They both get sent flying. And when I watched this, I actually thought that Esterosa got killed. But I don't think so. I don't think that's that easy. And essentially, it's almost daytime at this point, so... Or not almost daytime, almost noon at this point, which is where Escanor's power is at its peak. So he essentially just stays there because they're also injured as well. And another thing is that, like I mentioned before in a previous episode, that the guy's commandment causes everybody to become mind-controlled slaves to the commandment if they run away from him or turn their back on him. And they show up at the castle and attack some of them because, like I said, they're being mind-controlled. And everybody else runs inside. Everybody else, takes out their armor, obviously, because, like I said before, fire was so hot that it caused their armor to start to melt, which is crazy. So they all took off their armor. And, sadly, the other two commandments, Derriere and I don't remember what the other guy's name is, but those two pop up, and the king's brother, I think, comes out and said he's going to essentially kill them, and apparently the guy's power level isn't very high, but he uses a magic spell to summon one of the goddess race into his body and essentially sacrifices his life to do so. So, sadly, the goddess in question is not going to fight for them. You would think that she would, considering she's going up against the commandments. No, she's not one of the 4 archangels, apparently. She's only like a commander or something. I wonder makes me wonder who the 4 archangels are, and will we ever see them? I assume we'll see them at some point, but that's for a later season. Anyway, she tries to fly off. Darieri's pissed and tries to attack the goddess. She uses Arc on Darieri. It would have worked had she not countered it, and she tries to essentially bargain with Darieri, telling them, "Oh, we were allies, and we just didn't like the fact that you guys had tried to kill all those people or whatever," and took the top part of her body off. The guy's dead. That sucks. And I think after that, the people start showing up and start attacking the Holy Knights, and everybody starts running inside. Injured. Actually, let me check that real quick, just to make sure that I'm not getting ahead of myself. Because I'd rather not. No, that attack, the people showing up, I think. Yeah, the people showing up happened before the archangel, or not the archangel, the goddess showed up. So, yeah. And Darieri and the other guy leave and show up in some random house because apparently she needs to fix her hair. I think I assumed because it got long or something. And the guy tries to get her to wear a nice, cute dress. She shoots him down instantly. And we cut to where Elizabeth and the others are heading towards Leonis. They get attacked by red demons, gray demons. Hawk eats a piece of the demon and instantly gains the abilities of that demon. Darieri and the other guys show up, and we see the instance that I was mentioning. So if you don't want to hear this, I suggest skipping it because essentially Meliodas shows back up again. So other than that, yeah, just go. If you don't want to hear spoilers on future stuff, go right on ahead and leave. But if you want to, here it is. Elizabeth uses Arc on Darieri. And the only ones who know that attack are of the goddess race, as you saw earlier. So, it stands to show that she's not an ordinary druid. She's a member of the goddess race. Way back when. Same name, actually, which is kind of funny. But that's all I'm getting into at this point. Because, like I said, I'd rather not spoil anything too much. But that's kind of a bit of a given. Because I didn't really kind of spoil anything because that was kind of shown in the episode. Because, like I said, the only people who can use the Arc attack are the goddess race, as we saw with the goddess fighting Darieri. You know? So it's kind of not really thrown in your face, but it's shown. So, yeah. Meliodas shows up and kicks her butt, and that's how the episode ends. Not completely. Anyway, that's all I have to say, and I will see everybody next time.